Welcome back to the 8th edition of the School Improvement Services podcast. My name is Gretchen Bruner, and I'm the Executive Director of School Improvement Services. And with me again is Sean Aker, Student Success Act Coordinator, who has so much data. It seems like half his job is just tailoring it to fit various audiences.
Thank you, Gretchen.
You're very welcome. Let's just jump right into that professional development.
Thanks. All right, I appreciate that. Also in the script, I indicated that the general PD updates will take anywhere from 3 to a lot of minutes. So
Truth, there's a lot going on. We're gearing up for summer, so there's that.
And so first, last time we were here, we were talking about the tribal history, shared history, professional development, 3-part series. I think at the time we had like just a little bit of registration, and we were actually really nervous. We were like, who's going to come? Like, is anybody going to come? We ended up 9 districts ended up attending, 39 teachers, 39 actual teachers, and they're going to be the facilitators, lead facilitators. And so I wanted to, I wanted to share something with you that I learned from one of our facilitators, Nick Viles. He's with the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde. Confederated Tribes of Siletz Indians. He works out of Salem. He's been partnering with Amity School District for a couple of years now, and I got to listen in for the day, and he said the same thing that we have heard from the Willamette School Improvement Leaders Committee. He said teachers are really nervous about implementing these shared history lessons, the tribal history lessons, because they don't want to mess it up.
They want to do it justice.
They do.
Yep.
And he said, and it was just like a light bulb went off in my head. He said, well, if teachers are teaching right now and they're using a textbook, they're probably doing it wrong anyway.
Right.
So they might as well just try something else because it's not going to be any worse.
True story.
And so to me, that was awesome. So we're continuing on for the next 2 days. June 1st is the next one, and then June 15th, and we'll get that one figured out.
If there are districts who didn't participate in the first round, is there opportunity for learning?
You contact me as soon as possible, because there's a lot of agreements and there's a really short timeline to get things in place. So if somebody is really interested, they've got the 2 days available. Any participant, in order to receive the $750 stipend, we have to have an agreement with their district, and they have to do work. There's like a lot of things they have to get in place. So
perfect.
Couple other things. Our technical assistance program was approved by the Executive Council of Superintendents. It was awesome. It was just a short presentation, a lot of info share ahead of time. But to date, we've engaged over 1,200 educators. As of March 31st, it was like 1,152, and we've gone up since then. And the biggest thing is the folks that are engaging in the professional learning, they are telling us that because of their new acquired skills and knowledge, they are making an impact. They're seeing an impact on their systems.
Perfect.
And what they're saying is
getting towards that return on investment.
Yes, right.
Perfect.
Like they're investing their time, right? There's no money out of their pockets for them. I mean, maybe some sub costs and things like that, but you know, the knowledge and skill gain is awesome. And what they're saying is that the educators, the leaders, they're reviewing more student perspective data than they have in the past. Folks are making more specific connections with students in different ways. So they're building those relationships with kids. Educators actually feel more supported from the Willamette ESD than they have in the past. More educators. I mean, we always support our educators, but in this way, through School Improvement Services, I think there's been a big splash because of the technical assistance dollars and the program.
More people. That makes a difference. We have to be able to do the work on a broader scale.
The team is great. And then local leaders report an increased ability to offer local support for the stakeholders they serve.
That's
students,
great.
families, staff, because they know what's going on, they see it. So, okay, so that's kind of the info update. And now what's coming up? Lots of things coming up over the summer. This is not an exhaustive list. And actually, a lot of this focuses on math. Before we get there, I already mentioned June 1st and June 15th, we've got the Tribal History, Shared History. Those 2 days to close that out. On 6/20, there's a Mathways alignment workshop at the WESD. It's actually hosted. We're co-facilitating, so to speak. We have people that have been working on the project with ODE, but ODE are the leaders on that project. Also on 6/20, we have an instructional assistant retreat. We're still planning for that. we're still planning. The IAs will be compensated. We're working out the details. And there will be more information coming out about that within the next week. But 620, it's a full day. Most of our instructional staff is off contract at that time. And so
support with some EDI skills,
instruction
skills. Yep. Support for the EL students, working with ELs. Perfect.
Okay, then we've got ambitious math teaching coming up at the end of the month. That's going to be in Aurora at North Marianne School District. Then we've got some stuff coming up in July for math. And so just take a look at the show notes because we've got, we'll link this in there and some of those things. Then I just wanted to touch on future planning. Couple things we're doing right now because we don't have set days in the calendars for all our things for a number of reasons. Number one, we're analyzing our school district calendars. So we've gotten 18 so far of our school districts, and we're pulling the last 3 from the districts we didn't get them from. But and thank you to the 18 districts who filled out the survey and gave us that information. And what we're looking at is which districts have professional development days on which days of the year, which districts have late arrival, early release, and on which days. We know we only have 2 districts with late arrival Fridays, so it's, can we tailor something to those, or late arrival? No, 4-day work week with professional development on Fridays.
Yep.
So we're really analyzing those calendars, and that work should be done by the middle of the next week. And so by our next podcast, we'll probably have some more concrete dates for some of our priority things.
Great. Really working to make sure that we are minimizing sub costs, minimizing travel.
Yes. So that's one thing we're working on. And then really prioritizing what is the region calling for, looking at their integrated plans, looking at what we implemented this year. I mean, I think we had something like over 200 and some offerings this year, if you count the times where there's multiple engagement opportunities, repeats, or just recurring events. And so we're looking at prioritizing and making sure that, yes, we want to bring people together, but we also want to make sure that we're maximizing our opportunities to get out and serve and coach in the districts, because that's what a lot of our leaders and teachers are calling for. So
boots on the ground.
Yeah, boots on the ground. So we're looking at what to do for August. There's been a lot of asks for a lot of different stuff during that first week back, and we're looking at how we can do it on a regional level and do a hybrid option. A lot of different asks, but some similar, some consistency in the content areas. So we're just looking at ways that we can do that and meet everybody's needs. Because if we went, if we took our 10 and divided up to the districts and the various needs, then some people are going to not be served. So looking at that, we are going to be moving forward still with the Student Success Network for continuous improvement in regular attendance and ninth grade on track. That was mentioned 29 times in the outcomes of our 21 districts.
Perfect.
Ninth grade on track was huge. Regular attendance, huge. Newsella, to call attention to this, we are looking at doing a regional training, or 2 days of regional trainings next year, because Newsella is changing their platform, and we've never really offered professional development on a regional level. And it turns out, and Gretchen already knows this from the WSI, but those of you that weren't able to attend the Willamette School Improvement meeting, we have over 1,300 educators using Newsella, and their access, most of them are free access. That's going to change.
Right. So we want to be prepared so they don't come back and have all of those, resources that they're ready for to use in their classrooms, not there anymore.
Right. So Newsella, for those of you that don't know, it's the first time, supplemental material. It can be differentiated. It can be presented in multiple languages. And so it's a great tool to be used in a lot of different content areas to provide additional access to high interest learning. But it used to be free for a lot of resources, and now it's 4. It's like you get 4 resources. So we did approve some funds to be used in the Willamette School Improvement meeting to cut the cost down for our districts if they want to get into a contract. And so we'll have those allocations, and we'll roll all that out in the fall. Just a few more things here, and this is really high level. So right now, we know with curriculum instruction, we will be doing a curriculum caravan, the virtual and the in-person. I think, was it the vendor day? I can't even remember what it's called. There's an official name for it, where you have all the vendors come in, and I just can't remember what it's called. Anyway, so we'll do that again. We'll have the virtual caravan later in the fall. Then on top of that, we've got at least 11 offerings for curriculum and instruction that we're really trying to prioritize, and we'll get those dates nailed down as soon as we can. And a lot of different content areas, maybe broad contextual in terms of culturally responsive or cultural humility. And then tribal history, shared history is also included in that because we plan to continue moving forward with that. The school safety has at least 8 opportunities around response, prevention. Suicide prevention is looking at least 5 different events, including a couple different vendors, assist, QPR, so those things that we've mentioned before.
Really look at the training that works best for your population of staff and students.
Yeah, you don't have to do it all. You just have to, we want to really elevate right now, well, in the next couple of weeks, what is on the table so that you can plan ahead. So the mental health and behavior folks, emphasis on trauma-informed care. They have at least 10 events that they're looking at for next year, including the regional job alike meeting. We only listed that one time. It could be listed 8 or 9 times because it's monthly, but that will occur on a monthly basis. There's a good response from that. Our counselors and school-based social workers and other mental health providers, they want to keep coming to that one. And then social emotional learning, which is another big one. We have 9 offerings, which include the DESA regional workshops, ruler regional workshops, and social emotional learning standard implementation.
Great.
So if you aren't familiar with any of those acronyms I just mentioned, DESA, ruler, whatever, just, you can let me know.
Check in, you know where to find us.
Check in. Yeah. And then my last 2 things, we are still seeking interest for Letters in Modern Classrooms project. Like I said last time, we filled all 120 slots for letters, and we're looking at opening another 40 slots for letters. And we have the funding to do that. We just need the interest. So there wasn't a whole lot of folks on the wait list above the 120 right now. So if you're one of those districts and you're like, oh, actually I have people that if there's additional slots, let me know as soon as possible because we need to get that going. We have to have a contract in place before we can set the dates. So.
Gotcha. I was really excited to hear about modern classrooms and the progress that was happening from actual users. And so if you have questions or you want to know more about this mastery-based, really, really powerful learning mechanism, please talk to Sean and he can maybe connect you with one of the districts that's implementing. It's a slow rollout format. The best is that ground level, getting some teachers involved that are really excited about it and letting that excitement build within your district is what we're hearing. And so we still have spots.
Yeah. Gretchen, that is it for me. Do you have any questions on that maybe I missed something? I know there's so much information there.
No, I just wanted to come in. I'm really excited about kind of looking at things differently to meet our district's needs. That's something that, we've been really, really shifting and working and figuring out everybody's, we work in 21 different school districts and figuring out all of their needs is challenging. And I think we have been able to, over the last few years, really do some of those shifts in here. And so keep your comments coming, keep your information coming. We've heard that there's a need too for some around potential alt ed. We know that that's a need. And so, we'll have internal conversations here at the ESD and see where we can go from there.
That does remind me, there's 2 things that I probably need to mention.
Please.
Really important. We will be doing envoy training.
Great.
We're scheduling one in the fall. Not sure if it's going to be August or September yet. I think we're thinking August like we did last time, the week before in-service week for most of our districts. So it's that 3rd week of August.
Classroom management, if you're having difficulties in class, it's a really good way to go. Yeah,
so that will be in the fall and we'll repeat in the winter. So late January, early February.
And if your district has any need for like a collaborative problem solving, something like that,
we are moving forward with that.
We'll do that as well.
Yes. So we're repeating the one we did last year. So it's like one for new one. And then there's an additional one. And we're looking at ways that we can do that next step for those folks who have been using or implementing collaborative problem solving strategies. That one's a little bit more complicated. And we're looking to see if our team can provide some of that training. It might be cost prohibitive to contract with somebody at this point. So
one of the things that I know about collaborative problem solving, a lot of people are like, well, I just can't do that that much with all the other kids in my classroom. There are ways to still do collaborative problem solving and have it look a little bit different and meet the needs in your classroom. It's really important, and the basis and what you learn in that type of training is really important with working with students. And so thank you for bringing that forward again.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just hats off to the cross-functional team. Holly and Cassie are doing a phenomenal job managing the various areas, instruction, mental health, social emotional learning, and our team members are just phenomenal. You know, they're constantly looking at resources, bringing them back, trying to make the best decisions they can, always open to feedback, to making some adjustments and making sure that we're not overwhelming our districts. You know, we're not trying to get, 100% of educators to our things. We're trying to get the right educators to build their capacity so that they can go back. And then we want to follow up with them to see how things are going and really gauge the impact that they're having.
It's really the same thing we want for students. We want them to find the right program, the right pathway, all of those. We want the same for our educators.
Absolutely.
So I have a few ODE dates and deadlines and updates and some reminders. Don't forget your rural and low income school program, RLIS application is due November of 2023. Sarah Beard is your contact here for help with that. Your SIP budget narrative applications must be substantially approved before June 30th for federal formula. So make sure that you know of that date. All of the information will be attached in our Cliff Notes, if you will. Oregon writing projects.
The Courtney notes. The court notes?
We're gonna call them the court notes.
Court notes.
The Oregon Writing Project Summer Institute is coming up. The deadline was Friday, April 28th for applications. I don't know if that's full. If that's something you still want to check on, the information is in here. It is June 9th through July 14th. So I don't know if they still have spaces open, but I wanted to keep it in there just in case somebody was interested.
Who do we contact for that one?
For that one, it is, it's in here. It's Linda Christensen. She's at Lewis and Clark.
Okay.
So that's her email address is already linked in here as well. Holly Dalton and I are helping with anything tag related. And I know you have plans that have either already been turned in or you've gotten an extension, and they will be due on June 16th. So if you need help, please reach out. We are happy to help you. Figure out all those pieces. It's all new for us as well. So we're working through what we have.
Couple questions. You may not know these, but I'm just wondering, are those, can those be shared? Like what I'm wondering is.
Oh, sharing the actual plans?
Yeah. Like can districts share them, or is that?
It would be great. No, because it's a public form.
Right. That's what
so maybe we'll have that conversation with Holly and that might be a group that we.
If people can put them in there and then they can kind of cross collaborate, that'd be great.
One of the announcements I had today that I haven't gotten to give in quite a while is there are changes to the communicable disease preparedness work. I haven't done that in a while, right? It hasn't happened. So there are changes. There's an email that came out from ODE on May 24th. I have linked that in the notes. And so you can take a look. It talks about symptom-based exclusions, any updates on those, removal of the COVID-19 as a restrictable or reportable disease. So there's lots of really important information. And I know there's still changes coming from the state, but make sure you're keeping up on those emails, and I will continue to load them into these as well. Moving on to science content, they are still looking for those interested in the science assessment content and fairness review panel for the event is fully virtual from 8:30 to 4. This is an ODE request, and the Mariela Salas Bao will be the contact, and she's from ODE. She's a science assessment specialist. And so if you click on the link in here in the notes, it will give you her email, and you can check that out. There is a recruitment letter attached in there as well. Statewide computer science is happening as well. There's quite a few meetings coming up around engagement, June 7th, June 15th, and June 20th. They're 60 to 75 minute long sessions, and there is information in our notes as well. And then finally, I have linked assessment and accountability. I know most of you get that email, but I just want to draw your attention as we're finishing up and cleaning up any data that we need to look at and make sure that we've completed everything for the year. that's what I have for today. Not a whole lot, but we are really excited. We have just a ton coming. We're excited to work with all of you. We will probably do a couple more of these through June and then take a little break. You'll still get emails and those over the summer because we don't take July off. That's not how we roll. So we'll be here and here to support you definitely for your school up in August as well. Anything else, Sean, today?
No. Well, I mean, for anybody who's, really paying attention, typically we do our major mail campaign the first Thursday of the month with all the dates for the upcoming professional development. And we're pushing that back until June 7th. Is it the 1st and 7th? I don't know.
Yes, it's the 1st and the 7th.
It's until the 7th. It's until the second Thursday of the month, this month, or in June, because we want to make sure we get as many hard dates in there as we can. We don't just want to send a whole lot of potentials out.
Perfect.
So that'll be coming out. So if anybody's like totally anticipating that, it's just going to be a week later. Yeah.
All right. I bet with everything that's going on with the end of the school year, they'll be fine with a week later.
Yeah.
I want to wish everybody I know the end of the school year is chaotic. It can be difficult. There's a lot of emotion that goes along with it. We're excited. They're sad. You've got kids in all different places. Please take the time to be with the kids. Make sure that they get all the love they need to go out and do positive things this summer or positive things as they move on for our seniors. And so I just appreciate all the work you're doing. We as a staff appreciate all of you. Take care, and we will talk to you again soon. See ya.
Bye.